one of those things you don't think about. You know, you turn the tap on, you get water. Until you turn the tap on and you don't get water.
The water didn't come out of the hose mid-wash. And so I went to the tap and I turned it off, I turned it on, turn it off, turn it on. No water.
Check for kinks in the hose.
Yeah, check for the hose. Thought somebody was standing on it. We were confused, and I went into the house. Dan, come out here. Something is wrong. It's so hard to understand that you're not getting water, and it really like just blows your mind.
When the electricity goes out and you still have the habit of hitting the light switch, it's like, oh, the electricity is out, but you know it's going to come back. It's a little bit different when you turn the tap on and there's no water and you don't know if it's going to come back.
In the years of 2012 and 2013, a severe drought swept North America. According to the United States Department of Agriculture, it was the most severe and extensive drought in 25 years. One out of every 4 jobs in Nebraska is related to agriculture. So when the drought struck, it hurt. Farmers were concerned for their crops and for their families. They relied on irrigation to keep them out of debt. But this too came with a price. In the Lower Platte South Natural Resource District, domestic wells started going dry. The Lower Platte South Natural Resource District is one of the few areas in Nebraska that isn't directly over the High Plains Aquifer. Instead, this area sits over a few small, confined aquifers. Near the town of Brainerd, irrigation had caused the water in the wells to drop more than 12 meters. The water was too low for domestic wells to reach.
There were a lot of domestic wells within a couple miles of Brainerd that went dry. Simply dry. I'm not talking about lower water or, lower water pressure, dry, no water. If you turn on your faucet and no water comes in, how many things can you not do?
That includes so many things that you really don't think about when you're not having problems. Laundry, toilets, flushing, showers, dishes. Don't even think about watering the lawn.
This water that we just cooked with, great, that boiled our spaghetti. Well, that water that goes through the strainer doesn't go down the drain.
Nope.
You put the strainer in a pot.
Yes.
You then use that pot to
flush the toilet.
Fill the tank in your toilet.
As stories like these poured in, the Natural Resource District began looking for solutions.
There had been many, many written and comments to the NRD as well as phone calls saying, we're running out of water here, you've got to do something.
So with the power that the legislature had given it, the Natural Resource District placed restrictions on how much farmers could irrigate.
And essentially it was a 21 inches over 3 years with no more than essentially 7 inches a year, but you could go up to 9 inches, but no more than a total of 21 over 3 years.
These regulations were put into place in 2014. At the end of a 3-year test period, the NRD board will look at the regulations and the effects that they had. The board will then decide whether the regulations should be changed or remain the same. While these regulations brought hope to those that had had well problems, they struck fear and even anger into the hearts of many farmers.
We got a lot of concern about that, fear that that's way too low, we can't grow a crop with that.
It's hard. It's very hard when you've got an irrigator who is saying, I cannot live with this rule. I cannot grow a crop with this rule. It's very hard to say, you're going to have to learn how to do that. Tensions were high. There's no question about it.
Some farmers felt like they didn't have an opportunity to share their concerns before the rules were set in place. Though the NRD had sent out surveys about well conditions before placing restrictions, many of the local farmers didn't see it coming.
The local people really felt slighted by their, as they consider it, a backdoor approach. You have restricted our water. In essence, you have put a cap on, you have restricted the value of our real estate.
The courthouse is going to levy taxes on this land, whether we have 9 inches, 7 inches of water, or 0 inches of water. There's still, the taxes are not going to change. I felt like I had no control over my environment.
Still, there were other farmers who realized that restrictions were necessary.
You know, people need water to drink. Cattle need water. Livestock need water. You know, we don't have to have irrigation here to have a viable agriculture, because we've had it without irrigation for years. And I mean, people that don't irrigate now still have a viable agriculture.
Since the Brainerd area had more well problems than other areas, such as Valparaiso, many farmers felt that they were being wrongly regulated in areas where wells hadn't gone dry.
Us being restricted in our area, which is 25 miles away, I guess I don't see what that has to do with their area.
I thought the regulations were almost late in coming, but good, you know, very much needed, that we absolutely need to, you know, we are at the time, we are past the time where we need to be addressing excessive water use.
I guess I would say that maybe regulations would probably need to be in place in that area.
It is a step in the right direction to make sure that we're not going to abuse the system of draining our aquifer. We don't want to do that, and neither do the farmers.
We don't want to stop irrigation. I mean, our entire economy is based on agriculture, and agriculture is based on growing things, and growing things is pretty much based on water.
And I understand that everybody needs water. And I think we can all work together on it.
We can try and solve the problem together. I think the last thing we want to do is start placing blame on anybody.
So it was not an easy decision by any means for the board. I think, however, that with time people will learn that they can, in fact, make better use of their water, and they don't need as much water as they thought they did, and they will be able to live with more restrictions than they thought they would. Having said that, getting the restrictions right for the area is going to be critical, and we still have a lot of work to do on that. I have a lot of faith in the people in the state that we will figure this one out, because water is too important for the state to not figure it out.